How y'all doing tonight? I said, how y'all doing tonight? Tonight is a historical night, y'all. We're gonna celebrate tonight, y'all, because our ancestors are in this place. Everybody say, who's got it? Who's got it?
The way I feel about it is, if you've given me a minute to tell you what the Dewdrop Inn is, you'll probably fall in love with the place like I did. If you're a music lover, if you love history, if you're a New Orleanian, if you're a black person, there's so many reasons to fall in love with the Dewdrop Inn. Frank Panier was the original owner. He had a restaurant, a bar, a music venue, a hotel, and a barbershop, all under one roof. The first thing that captures people is how many of the big names performed here. And so you have folks like Little Richard, who I argue would not be the Little Richard that we know if it weren't for his interactions at the Dewdrop Inn. Folks like Etta James and Marvin Gaye and Aretha Franklin and James Brown. Our local greats like Alan Toussaint and Irma Thomas all performed here.
The Dewdrop to New Orleans was like playing the Apollo in New York. This was the place. If you played the Dewdrop, you had made it.
It was like a magnet that drew not only the great entertainers, but the local entertainers, the traveling entertainers. Ray Charles used to come in here and jam. That's how this place became to be known as the Dewdrop Inn.
There's a lot of great memories here for me in terms of being able to come here and having a place where we played and got our feet wet, as we say. There were a lot of young musicians who came to listen to the older musicians who played here and learn from them.
You had all of this cultural exchange and musical ideas that were flowing. This was like, it's like the cultural mecca.
You had sort of a variety show. You had the dancer, the singer, and you had a comedian. And when you were hungry, you could come and get some red beans and rice, and it only cost you $0.25.
We not only had, jazz, we had blues, we had LGBT people here, we had all kinds of entertainment that catered to all walks of life. The biggest and prettiest MC was Patsy Valdez, the most famous of them all. And Patsy was a female impersonator.
Patsy was the toast of the town, self-proclaimed, but very, very loved. And as a result, there was an annual gay ball here for Halloween every year. And I'm told that this was the biggest event at the Dewdrop Inn.
Patsy taught me a song called Hip Shakin' Mama. And I didn't sing all the verses because some of them were very risque.
But there's history that even goes beyond music here. This was set in the context of segregation, and it was a time when intermingling of blacks and whites was actually illegal. This place was a safe haven for people.
When the black motorists were traveling, they had a green book that would recommend the places to eat and where to stay and where to go for this and that. Dewdrop was high on the list.
Mr. Panier opened his doors to a lot of traveling artists. When they came to New Orleans, this was a place where they could stay and not be concerned about the segregation of it all. So yes, this had a lot to do with the safety of a lot of the black entertainers who was traveling.
When the Dewdrop Inn opens, we really want people to get a full experience. We want a feel of an excellent hotel and an excellent stay. If this is your window into New Orleans, we want to make sure that you get the right view. And by the way, our intention, or what we're bringing it back as, is as close to what it used to be as possible. So it will be a music venue again, it will be a hotel again, everything but a barbershop. One of the things that we did as well to make sure that we're in keeping with the history is we've set it up that each of the rooms honors someone special who spent some time at the Dewdrop Inn. Ray Charles, Little Richard, Allen Toussaint, Irma Thomas. This is the one that we really wanted to show you.
A young Irma Thomas.
Let's show you inside.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead, me. Wow.
Yeah.
You guys really did your research.
We did.
This is really, really nice. You guys, I got a corner room.
Dewdrop Inn is back.
Musicians come through this building now, and they say that they feel the spirit. And so when an artist takes the stage, the way that I see it, they have all the winds behind them from the previous artists who have performed here.
To be the first band to perform at this historical venue that my parents told me about when I was a little kid. I am so excited to carry on the legacy of my ancestors and of the great legendary musicians that performed before me that paved the way for me to do what I do. This African term, Sankofa, but you have to look back to move forward. And that's why I see that the Dewdrop Inn is looking back to move forward into the future and passing it down to the next generation.
We will always celebrate the past here, but there's a future in the Dewdrop Inn. There's a future of music discovery and invention and innovation that's going to take place here.
The importance of it now is to bring back all this history and culture to let people see the way it was and the way it's gonna be.